What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast Sports. I am your host, Harrison. To the left of me, as always, John Witt. Welcome back. We missed you last week.
Thank you.
To the right of me, Eric, and on the keyboard in the corner, we got our boy Ryan, always helping us out with all the technical stuff that we need and that you see. So big shout out to him. Welcome, guys. We missed you. We really appreciate all the feedback you giving us on either Twitter, YouTube comments, anything. We really do appreciate it. Remember, if you like the show, please be a friend, tell a friend, and share with anybody you want. Like we mentioned before, we got Tua, we got Jalen Ramsey. I think Tom Brady was the other one. I think was the other one.
I think Bronny's coming on.
No, oh yeah, Bronny. No, it was
Bronny's
Bronny, because he's going to declare to going to Ohio State.
Yes.
So we got those guys coming up. So please feel free, come and hang out with us. We really do appreciate you guys. So welcome again to another episode. This is our Week 7 in review. For the guys hanging out with us on Colorcast, welcome as well. We appreciate you guys coming in, and let's get into it, right? I mean, let's get what the people, what they want. First, jumping straight into the NBA. A lot of things of interesting have happened over these past couple of days. Obviously, all the trades and all the stuff are kind of seeing full effect. James Harden fully playing. You got a lot of different people coming in and finally hitting the ground running. Ben Simmons still hasn't touched the floor yet. Dragic started playing with the Nets. You got a lot of interesting things. Lakers still crumbling, even though LeBron dropped 56. But one thing I want to bring to kind of everybody's attention and our viewers' attention as well, Josh Giddey of the OKC Thunder has now won Rookie of the Month for the past 4 months in the Western Conference, and I feel like nobody and their mother is talking about that. I mean, are we overlooking him as like a Rookie of the Year candidate, or are we just is there just no good rookies in the West? Like, why are we overlooking this guy? He's a stud too.
I'm not sure we're overlooking him. I mean, I think the bigger names obviously are getting all of the play, all of the talking points and everything. But I think if you're tapped into the NBA, you know what he's been doing in Oklahoma City. I mean, he's given me 12, 8, 6 a game. He's nearly giving me a trip dub every single time we step out on the court. But I don't think we're really overlooking him just because, I mean, he's putting up great numbers, but like when you're looking at Scotty Barnes, when you're looking at Cade Cunningham,
Jalen Green's Jalen
Green, Evan Mobley, they're just more impactful players
to their personal team.
To their team,
okay.
Yeah. And Giddey, he's not a very effective shooter. But he does really have a really good all-around game, but I don't think anybody's like dismissing him outright. I think they
nobody's
know
blown away
by him. Yeah,
I mean,
and he should be in the conversation for sure. He's putting up good stats. He's doing it every night. The problem is the Thunder are just terrible,
right?
And I think that's going to play a big role in it. I think you're going to get Evan Mobley, you're going to get Cade Cunningham. Barnes, everything he just said. He's just not going to get the appeal that all these other rookies are going to get.
I mean, not only to echo that and what Will said too, I think it's very interesting as well to mention that all those rookies that we named that we feel are going to probably win Rookie of the Year or be in the main discussion of them, all in the East, right? Like, I can't even come off with a valuable rookie right now in the Western Conference team. I mean, Reeves, I think, is a rookie for the Lakers, and he's probably one of their best players, but he's just not doing anything crazy. He'll play 20, 30 minutes a game, but only take up 2 shots, so it's not like he's lighting the world on fire. He's not doing anything exciting. And like you said before, I mean, is the Thunder being that bad or not impactful is just really driving his stock down? Like, what if he was on the Cavs, right? I mean, he's small, he's 6'8", like, he's a big dude. Like, if he's on the Cavs, I know Evan Mobley's, 7'1", 6'11", somewhere in that range. Or you put him on the Raptors, or even put him on Detroit, where he can be like the main guy. Because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still the guy for OKC, and Lou Dort's still the guy for OKC. I mean, if he's on any of those other teams, does that kind of change his narrative, change his story? I mean,
well, go back to what you said about the West. I mean, doesn't Jalen Green play in the West? I mean, and he's been coming around. The Rockets.
Right, he's also missed a lot of games due to injury too.
The Rockets are also terrible.
Would you say that Jalen Green's more impactful for the Rockets than Josh Giddey is for the OKC, or? Because my whole point was I just feel like you don't have impact. Like Scotty Barnes starts and plays major minutes for the Raptors. Same thing with Evan Mobley. Same thing with Kate Cunningham. Like Jalen Green was injured there for a minute, so I can't knock that against him. But he plays all the time, and I just feel like you're just he's just there. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying is if you maybe replace him on a team that actually is decent, does he still get the traction that he is? I mean, is he still Western Conference Player of the Year? I mean, put him on the Nuggets or put him on the Suns. Is he still Western Conference Rookie of the Month for the past 4 months?
You're talking about Josh Giddey?
Yes.
I'm saying no, he's not.
No.
No, I think he is.
Yeah, I mean, you still think that?
I don't think he's putting up the numbers.
The numbers,
Yeah.
because he's on a better team.
Yeah, because he's on a better team.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's still fair, but I mean, I feel like I feel like he's just gone kind of under the radar these past couple months, or that's just maybe this entire NBA season. I don't know. Maybe it's because it is a West Coast team, and I feel like the big motion and commotion about the rookies was going to be Jalen Green versus Cade Cunningham. I mean, Cade Cunningham, he went to college, right?
Yeah, I forget where he went.
And then, he went to Oklahoma State, yes?
Yep, that sounds right.
And then Jalen Green went to the G League affiliate. What do you want to call it? I know it's the Ignite League or whatever, but I don't know really if that's with the NBA or if that's whatever. He didn't go to college, so like that was supposed to be the big hype of you're going to take this first guy that got to skip college and basically play kind of professional basketball already versus a kid that was the #1 draft pick in Cade Cunningham, who went to college, did the normal see that you kind of see in these that you've always seen. So I know that was with it. Maybe just because he slid through the cracks on that. I mean, I never thought Scotty Barnes was going to be as good as he is, and I never thought that Josh Giddey was going to be as good as he is. Maybe that's just me, but I mean, I feel like he's just really slipping through the cracks here, and I think it's great. I mean, good shout out for him. Is the better question that I want to kind of transition to as well is he going to be the future for OKC? Are like we buying in the Giddey stock here, or are we still riding the Lou Dort, the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Like, are we should we buy him, or are we going to trade him for parts?
John, you go ahead.
So I think because the thing with the Thunder is that they do have so many draft picks coming up, like plenty,
Literally like 30.
more than we've ever seen.
From LA and Houston.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think he could be like a good #2 guy on a team. Maybe not like the face of the team, but like kind of a side guy. Maybe like a Kyrie on the Cavs in 2016. I think he can fill that role decently well. So
Being young, just being kind of not the face of the franchise, but being still a very valuable asset of that franchise.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to have to agree with you there.
Yeah.
I think that he might not be the guy that you buy into because I think it is kind of hard to buy into somebody you just don't know anything about yet. Mm-hmm. Unless you're, I know this might sound bad just because he hasn't played it all this year. Unless you're like the Zion Williams, like the LeBron James, the Kevin Garnett's, the Kobe Bryant's, where you're like, that kid in high school was a force to play with. Like Zion probably could have skipped college and went to the NBA.
Yeah.
His build was there and his size was there. I mean, you saw him absolutely swatting all these little freshmen, sophomore, juniors, all those highlights. I feel like you saw Zion highlight tapes on Twitter for like 6 years before he even got into college, it felt like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could have skipped to the NBA. I mean, unless you're that guy, I feel like it's really hard to be the face of the franchise now.
Mm-hmm.
You're already going to take these veterans that have already been there, done that. I mean, face of the franchise, or we moving on? Or are we just going to be #2, Batman or Robin here?
I think he's kind of one of those guys that he's a Robin. I don't think he's going to be the face of your franchise. He can't, right now, he can't go out and, like, give me a bucket. Like, he can pass somebody open, he can find the open man, he'll give me 10 rebounds. But he's not going to be, like, you got the ball, we need to score 2 points right now. That's not his game.
Lou Dort, right?
Yeah, that's not his game. And, unless he can figure out on how to actually put the ball in the bucket on a more consistent basis, I don't see him being like the face of the franchise.
Right. And obviously, things can change as the years go on. He could become the face of the franchise. He's got the build for it. I mean, I feel like it's always hard to be the face of the franchise that can do like the all around, being like a Steph Curry or being like a Kyrie Irving. Yeah, you're disgustingly good at your position, but being a point guard or shooting guard, you're not going to get that many rebounds. Your assists are going to be great, your points are going to be great, but you can't do it on the defensive end and the offensive end like the 6'8" guy would, like LeBron, Kevin Durant, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, those guys that have length, width, and can play on both ends of the floor really well. So I think it would be really interesting for him. I think it would be good to see that OKC's got a guy that they think can be something special here, and he's obviously proved to be. I mean, you don't win Rookie of the Month on accident, especially 4 times in a row. You know what I mean? Shockingly, probably safe money's going to be. He's probably going to win it for the 5th month, too. So, that is what it is, but that'll be an interesting story coming out of OKC. Transitioning to more what we thought was a really good team about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we were really big on it. DeMar DeRozan going to be MVP, arguably top 5 candidate, maybe even should have been higher than what he was. The Bulls are in a dumpster fire right now. They're 1-13 versus top 7 teams, and they are 7 or 0-6 against top of the 3 seeds in both conferences, East and West. I mean, are we just seeing the value of Lonzo Ball really being seen now? Like the fact that he's been out for this time, and Alex Caruso still being out, and now you're putting all this faith in Ayo Dosunmu, who's a rookie, but playing well, but not great. Kobe White, I mean, are we just seeing, or did we put too much stock in the Bulls, but way too early? I mean, John, what do we think here?
It's hard to tell because they do have the injuries going on. I mean, DeMar DeRozan's having probably his best season, if not one of his best.
Arguably, for sure, no doubt.
Yeah. So,
at least since Toronto.
Yeah, for sure. And, yeah, they're not living up to the preseason hype, but, I mean, they do get Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball back eventually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. I don't trust them in the East, though. I think somebody else will knock them in the first or second round. I don't see them getting past the second round at all.
Well, especially when you're 0-7 versus both top 3 teams in each conference. I mean, regardless of the East or West, but if you're 1-13, okay, yeah, you win one game in a second round or third round, because typically by the second and third round, you're playing the top teams in each division. Obviously, you can have a flare be like the 2018 Cavs, where they're like the 6th seed, but we all kind of knew the Cavs are still one of the best teams in the NBA. They just didn't play like it. Or like the Miami Heat a few years ago when we were playing the Sixers in the first round. We were still one of the best teams. We just got paired up with the Sixers. So if you're not competing against these top elevated teams, like, that's definitely a scary sight, especially if you're a Bulls fan. When you get that paired up with what's coming. I mean, the season's done in a month here. We're going to start postseason here soon. But Bulls, are we overvaluing them? Or is this just a rocky road?
This is, let's say, Lonzo and Caruso being out is not the only source of the Bulls' woes right now. They still have DeMar playing. They still have Nikola playing. They still have Zach LaVine playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not nothing that, or it's not everything that the Bulls' woes are those injuries, but it's not nothing either. When you still have your 3 top scorers in the starting lineup, I think putting it on just like Ball and Caruso being injured is kind of a cop-out because, every team has injuries. Cavs, Jared Allen, he's out for indefinite amount of time.
Colin Sexton.
Yeah.
Out.
Been out forever.
Trust me.
Every team has injuries. Victor Oladipo hasn't played a game in like a year.
Okay, came back last night. Hey, 15 minutes, 11 points, couple assists. Hey, I'm happy for him.
Not a Heat podcast.
Not a Heat podcast, but it could be. Just saying. Go on. Will.
So I think they kind of lost the way. They kind of lost what was going on. I'm not sure if Caruso and Ball just came back tomorrow, all their problems would be fixed. I don't think so. But I think there's something going on in the locker room, or the Bulls are kind of losing their heads a little bit.
Something shifted.
Yeah. You can feel the energy shifted in the room. I
mean, I feel like, honestly, a very good comparison would be the Celtics the first half of the season, right? Celtics, ton of talent, ton of great players. Tatum's obviously one of the best young stars and best talents in the NBA. Jaylen Brown's one of the best Robins in the league. He'll give you consistently 25 points a night.
Mm-hmm.
But they're terrible. They're like an 8 seed for like majority of the first half of the season. Now they're the highest rated team in defense, highest rated scoring team. And, they exceeded all these things, and now they have one of the best records the second half post All-Star break in the NBA. So maybe that's just they're kind of switching, right? The Bulls had one of the best records. They were going into All-Star break a half a game back from the Heat, and now they are falling down through the East ranks. I mean, the East is already a tight race as it is. This is the point of the season where you can't keep losing these games, especially when you're playing teams that you're going to probably see in the postseason. I mean, it's not so much, they beat the Rockets. Great. You should beat the Rockets. Can you play the Heat? Can you play the Cavs? Can you play the Sixers? Can you play the Nets? Or go to the other side. Can you play the Mavs? Can you play the Grizzlies? Can you play the Warriors and still be competitive? And I just feel like you're not seeing that right now. So maybe the whole switcheroo here is what's happening with them. I mean, Ryan, what do you got to say?
So I think the whole thing with Lonzo being out, that kind of being like the talking point almost.
Yeah.
I do think it is a factor, and also just because some of their other like size players are out. I think Vucevic is out.
Yeah. He's been in and out.
Yeah,
up and
he's
down.
been in and out,
Yeah.
like kind of not very stable. But they're on a 5-game losing streak right now.
Mhm.
Each one of those 5 games, they were out rebounded. One of them by 20 in one game.
Who's that to?
Memphis.
Oh,
They got out rebounded by 20
Steve
against
Adams.
Memphis.
He's the goat.
And
I mean,
they've also had a considerably high amount of turnovers. I think it's from what I just checked, the past 5 games they've turned the ball over more than the other team. All four out of the 5,
Mhm.
and then they've been averaging like 14 turnovers a game. I mean,
Just not
if you're
protecting the ball.
if you're court, I don't know if you want to call like Lonzo your court general. I don't know how experienced he is. I mean, he's still
He's been in the league.
He's been in the league for a
6 or
few
7
years,
years, so I mean, he
so-
knows what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
But just as a leader aspect, if you're not having like all those guys there that are your leaders, and you got some rookies coming in, no hate to DeSumo, because
Yeah.
I mean
He's been balling.
he's been
playing well.
balling, kind of up and down consistency wise. But I mean he was a beast in was it Illinois.
Yeah.
Um,
He was the guy that
Just-
took the Kobe, reincarnated the Kobe picture with
Yeah.
the Big Ten trophy,
Yeah.
and then got bounced like the second round of Loyola Chicago. So
Yeah.
kind of a bad look by him, but hey, we're
But,
you can't
yeah,
beat Sister Mary.
I just
That's all
think
I'm
it's
saying.
just a little bit of lack
Or
of
Sister
experience.
Gene.
Experience with like the backups,
Yeah.
kind of.
I definitely think that is a big factor and a big talking point there. But I'd be really worried if I was a Bulls fan. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, speaking of worrisome fans, the Cavs are back.
I mean, so look.
They're
Are the Cavs back?
I don't know if the Cavs
So
are back, to be honest.
I mean, in our defense, Darius Garland was out.
Darius Garland was out, 100%.
Yeah.
Guys already have a bunch of injuries as it is.
And we did win the other night.
Against
Beat the
Toronto.
Raptors. Beat the Raptors.
3-0.
I mean,
Another team though that was playing really well and playing really together ball now kind of struggling a bit. Are the Cavs actually back?
so we're gonna retract it a little. The Cavs are back, but they're not like back.
the
Yeah.
Cavs
Yeah.
are about to be back.
Yeah.
Cavs are about to be back.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I'm still sticking with it. The Cavs are 100% back. Did you guys ever think you'd be in a playoff race right now with what you had last year, with the record that you have? I mean, you guys have to be happy. The Cavs are still back. I'm dying on it. Book it, sell it, stock it, whatever you want to do. Put it in your bunker. Put it in a safe haven. Put it in a lockbox. Put it in a Roth IRA. I don't care. The Cavs are back. They're better than what you ever expected them to be this season. The Cavs are still back.
Yeah. So the Cavs are back, and they're back for the future.
For sure.
Like the Cavs, they're young. They got height. They got talent.
They have
got
all the height.
all the height.
They have all the height. They have all the length.
We have Taco Fall, so
Right. I mean, come on.
yeah. I mean,
And, being injury prone, like you said, that does play an issue, but you got to find ways to win. And, at the end of the day, you're not going to not have a bump in the road. I
Yeah.
think if the Cavs can handle this next part really well, they'll be much better off in the postseason than they will be, who cares if you lose 5 games in a row in the regular season in a stretch. It's all about the postseason, because whether you're an 8 seed or you're a 1 seed, if you make it to the finals, nobody gives a shit.
and Karis LeVert, I think he's been out too.
Yeah, and he's also just not. I feel like he hasn't hit the ground, running as quickly as you guys
Yeah.
thought you would. But that's okay. That
So,
happens.
yeah.
That
So
happens.
our shooting really hasn't been there just with those two out for sure. So
So I mean,
we'll see these next couple of games.
so we'll let you know. We think the Cavs are back. We're pretty sure the Cavs are back. Are you still in on the Cavs?
Tentatively, I'm dipping my feet into the Cavs.
Dipping the
Okay.
feet back in the Cavs. Well, Cavs may be back. We'll catch back on that.
next week we'll.
But one thing that has pissed me off for years about almost all sports in general, whether it be NBA, MLB, NFL, anything you want, the big brands get the TV time because that's what makes the money. I understand that. I get that. But it just bothers me that the Lakers and the Knicks were on national TV more than all other NBA teams combined this past week and a half. They lost every single one of their national televised games. Why in the world are they still they're both terrible. They're both terrible. RJ Barrett dropped like 56, almost 50 points against the Heat, and they lost by 12 or 10, 15 points. Hell, you have a career night. Julius Randle had a great night last night, and they won. So, I mean, give them credit there, but they lost all those national televised games. Is there something wrong in the NBA, or is it all major sports? Like, is it just because you're the big brand, you get the big ticket? I mean, John.
I mean, it's what you said. I mean, the big brands, they draw the viewers.
I mean, the Cowboys were terrible when like 2 years ago when Dak was injured, and they
Right.
still got all televised games.
Right. So I mean, you might as well just put them on TV because if that's what's going to make the league more money, then that's what they're going to do. Like I get it. It kind of sucks. Like I don't think the Cavs have had a national televised game all year, so it is what it is. But I mean, it's a
Can't
business.
fix it.
It's a business, so.
Yeah, I mean, this is a problem in all the major leagues, but the NBA specifically has a big problem with it because it's such a LA and New York league. You know, LA, New York, Miami, Chicago. Those are like the 4 teams that like anybody really cares about.
Big markets.
Yeah, like huge markets. And you know, it does. I don't know. I mean, it's not as fun watching the same teams over and over and over.
Like, I honestly don't care. I get it wouldn't make a lot of money, but if you give me like the Kings versus like the Rockets, 2 terrible teams, it's something different. Like, how is Josh Giddey going to get recognized? Or Jalen Green? How are these guys going to get some national notice for these teams, these small market teams? Like, they make money off those games. Like, how do you want the Sacramento Kings to try and build off of something when they make no money off national televised games? I don't care that they're terrible. If you're a true basketball fan, you want to watch what's on. You know what I mean? So, who gives? I mean, let me put it this way. Obviously, big Heat fan. Nothing new. We played in a stretch. We played the Bulls, the Bucks, the Nets, and the Sixers. Out of how many games do you think those were televised nationally?
Oh, 0.
0?
1.
0. You have
You wouldn't
the
ask
best
me.
team. Right. The best team in the East faced 3 of the top 10 teams, 2 of the top 10 teams in the East, and then 1 team that's excited because that's Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And not a single one of those are nationally televised. I mean, there's clearly an issue. I think you said it best. Like, it's definitely a problem in all sports, but it's definitely, I feel like, an epidemic in the NBA more than any other league. I mean, baseball's hard because it is kind of like, I mean, like, the Astros have been one of the best teams in baseball record-wise. Same thing with the A's for the past couple of years. And the Rays, especially the Rays, never get nationally televised just because they're boring or not necessarily a big market. They're not the Yankees. Yankees have their own freaking radio broadcast and TV station. Same thing with Texas. Texas football, hey, hook 'em. Terrible. Awful. But they still have a national like TV thing with Texas. No matter who Texas is playing, they're going to have a game on their Texas station. Longhorn Network. Like, it's where the money is. I get that. But I feel like there's got to something change because, like Will said it best, it's just annoying to see the same bad teams. I don't even care if the Lakers were great, dope, fine with me, and the Warriors were great, dope, fine. But come on, man, they're it's just not there.
I do think one way they can fix it though, and this is one thing the MLB has done good, is they do that game of the week on the MLB Network.
Yeah, and
like
with YouTube TV too now.
Yeah, so if they just did that, like just one game a week, give us like Rockets, Jazz,
give us something different,
Mavericks, Timberwolves.
Right,
like,
yeah.
If they kind of did that, I think that would solve that issue just a little bit.
And I think it would. I think that would definitely benefit. I think the league would benefit from it too, because the thing that sucks for me being a Miami Heat fan, and there's other obviously NBA fans in Ohio. You don't get to see your team play unless you buy the NBA pass, and that's just really expensive. Not most people are going to do that. So if you at least give some of those fans out there that have these other, I mean, Miami doesn't have a small fan base. Same thing with, like you said, Chicago. Same thing with Milwaukee. Milwaukee's got a huge fan base, and you're not getting as many national televised games. It sucks. That's all. You know. But another thing, talking about the teams that get a lot of nationally recognized TV time, is the Warriors. And the Warriors, back on the struggle bus as well, they've gone 2-8 in their last 10 games. And even though they are nationally televised, they're still losing just as much as the Knicks and the Lakers are. Why do we keep putting these guys on TV is the thing I keep saying. But the biggest question I have about the Warriors is Draymond really the guy that makes the team go? I mean, Steph Curry obviously is the best shooter of all time, one of them. If not, Klay Thompson is clearly a dual threat when he's fully healthy. And he's not fully there yet, but he's getting his minutes back.
Mm-hmm.
James Wiseman has completely fell off the face of the earth. I have no idea what that guy's doing. I mean, how are the Warriors, still getting this TV time? I know they're the hot team. And how have they gone this bad, and they're still the 3 seed in the West? So, does Draymond really make the Warriors go here? Like, is Draymond the most valuable player on the Warriors team? Because clearly they need him.
Well, see, those of us who have been tapped into the NBA for years and years and years now.
Are you tapped in?
I'm tapped in.
You're tapped in. Will's tapped in.
If you're not, get tapped in. If you're not tapped in, you're gonna have problems. Those of us who have been tapped in we've been known. We've been seen it.
Been seen it, done did it.
Yeah.
Fact checked it.
Draymond isn't gonna win you the game. Steph is winning you the game. He's giving you 30 points.
Yeah,
He's
Andrew
7
Clay,
threes. Yeah. Draymond is running the show defensively there. He's the best defensive player on one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. You take him out of that, where he's like the quarterback on the defense.
Mm-hmm. Or the team, maybe.
Yeah,
too. He has crazy amount of assists.
If you take that out, it's a big piece, it's a big cog that's keeping the machine running that there's no one to fill it with.
Just ripping the transmission straight out.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond, I mean,
Eric hit it. He's just kind of a role player.
as much as we hate to say it, though, nobody really likes Draymond.
I don't think anyone likes Draymond.
I mean, I respect Draymond. I respect the player he is, and I respect what he's done. In his career, being kind of an undersized guy and still playing that bully ball, kind of like that, like Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace kind of aspect, or whatever you want to call it. But we all hate you, Draymond.
I hate Draymond Green.
Draymond, we hate you.
Don't come on the podcast.
Dude,
I'm gonna ban all people from this podcast. Draymond Green's one.
Okay.
Rob Manfred's another.
Okay.
And Jerry Jones is the third. And that list can grow, so don't piss us off.
It'll grow.
It'll grow. But those are the three for sure that are getting banned. But I mean, Draymond, you can't say enough about him, right? I mean, he clearly makes the Warriors go. He's clearly the most valuable player. I know we said earlier a few weeks ago on our talks that who's the real value on the team, because we were talking about Defensive Player of the Year candidates, right? And obviously Draymond's kind of fallen out of that because he's missed so many games. But because he's missing these games and that they're losing, maybe does his stock go up?
Maybe a little bit. I just think his situation with the Warriors is just a perfect situation for everybody involved.
If you put him on the Kings, he's not.
Yeah, he's not
successful.
Yeah, he has to be in the right scenario to continue to be the player that he is. So, I mean, sure his value's gone up, but I don't think it'd be effective if the Cavs traded for him.
Right. Or not necessarily the Cavs, just
Or
really
just
anybody.
anybody.
Maybe the Bucks. He might fit with the Bucks just because he can replace that PJ Tucker role, which wasn't a scorer, but the hard-nosed guy.
Yeah.
Do you think his stock goes up here as a Defensive Player of the Year or any type of accolade?
Draymond Green?
Yeah.
His stock's going up because
Because they're
the
losing
Warriors,
so much without him. You know what I mean? Is it like one of those ones where, Rudy Gobert is probably going to be a finalist for it, even though every year he gets in the playoffs, he gets absolutely exposed. But he's still going to be a top candidate and probably win it.
I mean, no, Draymond Green's stock is not going up. Draymond's 32 years old. And
no, I'm saying for just the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year candidate for this year. Do you sit there and be like, he was a front runner 6 weeks ago, but he's missed all these games. This is obviously he's going down.
I see what you're saying.
Do you think the reverse of it? Now that they're losing all these games, maybe his stock does go up at that point.
I do not. I'm not a fan of that kind of thinking.
Just not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan. If he's not playing, we can obviously see
the missing of him.
They're missing him, but missing games I don't think should be a stat we track for Defensive Player of the Year. I think it's like blocks, eye test, steals,
the defensive rebound,
offensive
rebound, those things. So you mean the things that actually are?
I don't know if
missed games shouldn't be. Missed games shouldn't be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point at least. I definitely think that his value's missed. I think we can all agree with that. But that's kind of the way we've been tapped in, because like Will said, we've been tapped in. We've been tapped in. Almost as much as me versus Brock Lesnar in a cage match, I've been tapped out. You know what I mean? But I'm tapped in to the NBA. I'm sure we're all tapped in. Where you tapped in, actually? You tap. Go Miners.
Yeah,
go Miners. Go Texas. Go Horns here. And
go Bucks.
Right? You can't knock them. And then Ryan over there's not even wearing a college team, doesn't get the memo, and he's not wearing a hat. Why do you think we don't have him on camera? Now you know, because as you always know, hats are a must.
Yeah, Tom Brady. Sorry, when you come on,
Tom Brady, you gotta wear a hat.
Yeah,
if we will allow you to kiss your kid for long periods of times, if you wear a hat on the TV, it'll make us uncomfortable.
Don't speak. No.
Wait, is he not? That's weird, right?
That's weird.
Okay, maybe not, but if you wear a hat, it'll be different. That's all I'm saying.
Do we put the perma ban on Tom Brady?
No.
Not yet.
Not
What?
yet.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Because if
Nobody
he's
has a permanent invite to every episode.
Okay.
bring some of the
Sorry,
avocado
you know what I'm
toast
saying?
and
I apologize.
avocado ice cream, he might be in for me. That's all I'm saying. I have mixed feelings about Tom because he did ruin a lot of Colts teams. Regardless of that, but that kind of wraps up the NBA talk there. Great discussion as per usual. Moving on to the MLB, where some things happened. Something's happening, kind of, maybe not. Rod Manfred still sucks, still banned. But the MLB and the MLBPA have kind of agreed on a few things that might not stall the bargaining, but keep it going. They've met on a few big key changes that I think are huge. Two of them, at least. One being the ban of shift. So for those who don't know, if you have a designated hitter that typically pulls to one side of the field more or not, players would shift over and, kind of prevent them from getting hits. You'd have a second baseman play really deep in the right field, and then if they're a left-handed hitter, and then you'd have your shortstop slide over and your third baseman basically play shortstop. So that's kind of how shift works. Ban that. They add a pitch clock, which means you have to get a pitch off in a certain amount of time. I believe it was 14 seconds with no runners on and 19 seconds with a runner on. And then the third one, make the bases larger?
Correct.
I don't really know why that got added. I don't know if it's for safety reasons. I get first base, maybe. But just overall bases larger, I don't know. But what are our thoughts on this? And that's not effective this season if the season does pick up. It's the next year, 2023. So what are our thoughts here? We got any hot takes? We got anything spicy to say?
So
Let's start with the shift. How about that? We'll break it down. Shift, fan or not?
I absolutely hate it.
You hate the shift or you hate the ban of the
I
shift?
hate the ban of the shift.
Okay.
I love the shift.
I love the shift. Yeah, you should be able to line up wherever you want.
If I want to put all
Yeah.
9 of my guys, or 8 of my guys, you got to have a pitcher
Yeah.
and catcher, so maybe 7 of my guys.
Yeah.
If I put all 7 of my guys in left field, let me put all 7 of my guys in left field.
And if you have a problem with that,
Hit the ball
the other way. I mean,
Play both sides of the field.
I saw this on Twitter. Someone said this is like if the NFL banned too high
Safety because your quarterback can't make the
can't
cut.
throw.
I saw the same thing, yeah.
It was just,
Yeah, I think that
That's
actually, I sent Roger Goodell a message. I asked him to ban 8 in the box because that would help the Browns out a lot.
It would help the
yeah,
Browns.
that helps out.
It also probably help the Bengals, too. Or any team that doesn't have a great line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
There we go. But I mean, it's just between this, the DH earlier. I'm not a fan of the universal DH, but
I don't mind the universal DH in the sense that I don't care what it was. Just have a universal. I'm tired of the whole, we're in an NL park now, we got to hit our
and
pitcher.
I get that argument too.
Make it.
Yeah.
I prefer it be pitchers, all pitchers hit. Make it in
Yeah.
both leagues because I think that is kind of what the whole point of baseball kind of.
I'm
was.
not against that thinking.
Yes.
But yeah, the ban of the shift, bad for baseball. Hopefully AAA keeps it real. My Clippers keep it real.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of the Clippers, ring your bell.
Yeah, ring your bell.
B, arguably the best AAA baseball team ever. 10 Governor Cups, 11 maybe.
11, I believe.
11 Governor
11.
Cups. No other team can touch us.
Yeah, none.
I'm just saying, ring your bell, Clippers. Lucy the Seal.
Lucy the Seal.
Lucy the Seal, and I can't remember.
I'm ringing the bell.
I'm ringing the bell hard. Buy stock in the Clippers. It is what it is. But hopefully, I really hope AAA doesn't go to the automatic umpires because that was one of the robot umpires was one of the discussions that I think the MLBPA denied, and the MLB was like, okay, fine, we won't go to it yet. So that was even brought up. I think that as much as I think it hurts sometimes, where you're like, oh, that could have been a no hitter, or he could have been out of this inning. It adds intensity to the game, and that's kind of what I like the human error aspect of it, but. The shift I'm not a fan of. I want to put my players, as much as it sucks sometimes when you get a great hitter on your team, I think the Astros will advantage from a big league with Yordan Alvarez, Michael Brantley, Jose Altuve. And Alex Bregman are all guys that get shifted. We have like 4 of our 9 guys hitting are all shifted on, so obviously it's going to help us. Now, if you're a team that doesn't have any guys shifted or on one guy shifted on, then it's going to hurt you. So, short term, yay for me. That might help our team a lot, but I just feel like it's bad for baseball. It's a bad look for baseball. I think they just want to create more offense
Well, yeah.
and create more excitement around the game.
Yeah.
And I think that might do the opposite of it because I don't want to see 10-11 final score. Yankees beat the Rays, right? I don't want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see, oh God, as much as you guys hate it, White Sox, Carlos Rendon's going in the 9th inning with a perfect game on the Indians, Guardians. I want to see that. I want to see defensive games. I think those are more fun. I think if you ban the shift, you get away from that.
Well, I just want to see them actually play baseball, not
Yeah.
whatever kind of game they've sort of concocted
You mean
together.
football?
Yeah. No, I'm totally against banning the shift. I don't understand the losers that are like, oh, the shift was ruining the game. No, what's ruining the game is that
You can't hit opposite field.
well, no, that's ruining your batting average. What's ruining the game is that if food costs way too much, the tickets should be like $10. Like, if a ticket is more than $10, then I don't know what we're doing. It's a Wednesday night in June. Why is the ticket $25?
Yeah, not even that.
Yeah, so just like people need to be able to go to the game. Kids need to be able to go to the game. It needs to be affordable.
That's not just MLB, by the way. I think that's
Well-
all sports. MLB, I think, is a big.
MLB
big
has
knock
the
on
biggest
it.
problem
Yeah.
with it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, all pro sports, it's expensive to go. But I mean, I think just banning the shift doesn't make any sense. Now, I was going to tell you, so for they're making the bases larger. One, because they say that it will get more people to steal bases.
I knew that was. God
Yeah.
damn it! I knew that was one of them
Yes.
because stealing bases is like an all-time low right now.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hate
Well,
that
because
shit.
it's almost like now.
It's not
No,
worth it. I don't even know if make it. That's the reason I don't. That's one reason I don't like it because you're going to allow a guy from right field making an incredible hose down to second or third, and that guy's going to be safe now because it's a freaking big base. That makes me mad.
But also, apparently, it's supposed to be safer. There's supposed to be less injuries with a bigger base.
I think
I
first
could
base.
see
That's
that
the
for
only.
like turning double plays
Yeah.
on like second base.
Well, they don't allow you to crush the player anymore at second
Well,
base
I mean,
like
they
they
still
used
do it
to.
anyways.
Yeah, it's weird.
I still don't think the second base is the issue. I mean, you get one out of every 300, 400 attempts through second on a double play. Great. But first baseman, I can see that. I mean, we saw in the World Series when you have a pitcher trying to make a play, and he's obviously not necessarily the most athletic guy on the field. Michael Brantley crushed the Braves starting pitcher, and I thought he broke his ankle for sure, but he got up and ended up pitching the rest of the game or through 6 or 7. But I think the first baseman, I'm okay with that. More like a softball, I feel like is what they'll go to, where you have like the orange line where you run outside, which is still different. It's not baseball. I'm cool with the first base getting larger. The question I also have is, does that mean home plate gets larger? Because if home plate gets larger, that means your strike zone's affected.
I would
right? I would assume not.
I would assume not. No.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming
I
you're
mean,
gonna look
yeah,
that
we
up.
can look
Let's
that
say,
up.
look that up. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But all in favor, ban the shift. Terrible. We all agree on that. Ryan, do you agree? Terrible.
Terrible.
Okay.
Love it.
So I'm glad. Love that.
Yeah.
That's why Rob's banned as well, and he's happy that game's
Yep.
getting canceled.
Yep.
So screw you, Rob.
Screw you.
Second, the pitch clock. I think it's terrible.
I'm a little indifferent to this. I don't really care that much. I think the time should be a little longer. I think
For which one? On runners on or
both. Like
okay.
it should be like 30 seconds. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're going like a super long time, then yeah, you need to just pitch the ball. But
I mean, Cueto. God, thank God he's at the end of his career because that dude would take 45 seconds in his little,
yeah,
whatever hitch kick he does.
Hashtag Joey Center.
Yeah, Joey Center. Shout out my guy.
we love you, Joey.
Joey, love you. So I mean, I think that's a big issue. I think it's going to honestly benefit a lot of young guns very well. I think speaking from a fan of the Astros aspect, when we went into the 60-game season of COVID, Verlander was out due to Tommy Johns. Greinke missed a ton with his back. McCullers was out with TJ and Tommy Johns as well. So we had a lot of guys out. So we brought in a lot of young guys. But they're so used to the pitch clock, because that is a thing in AAA, that I think it was throwing a lot of the hitters off. So that's why they were so successful. We had like 2 pitchers in that 60-game season up for Rookie of the Year. And I think that it might benefit some of those young guns that are like, hey, we got a guy that's pretty solid. Let's just bring him up earlier because he can keep this pitch on. He's used to it. I think it's going to affect your veterans, Cueto, Kershaw, some of these older guys, Verlander, Greinke, all those guys that might still be around in the league, making them speed up their whole process. And I think I can just see it happening already. You're going to have a guy that's coming out of the bullpen or coming, in a close game, a starter pitcher that has to get that pitch clock in, and boom, nukes it because he's going too fast. Or it might just screw up all hitters too. It could obviously go both ways. I'm just not a fan of it. I think that the whole point of baseball is the defense, the strategy behind it of trying to read the signs, swiping one guy off, because now you're going to get through less look-offs, all that other stuff. I think that does affect the game greatly.
Yeah.
What do you think? Pitch clock?
As far as pitch clock goes, so it's really gonna mostly affect relievers way more than it's going to affect starting pitchers.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean relievers, they're coming in, and usually they're coming in, they're pitching, games on the line, whatever, it's 6th, 7th, 8th inning, 9th inning, and they're really trying to control their breathing,
Focus, yeah.
Focus. Whereas starting pitchers, I mean, you see some starting pitchers and they're like, get the ball, boom, immediately throw it.
Yeah.
Obviously some guys are outliers, but I think it's going to be a big problem for the relievers.
I wouldn't be upset, honestly, and let me pose this question to you. If they got rid of the pitch clock in postseason, keep it through the regular season, keep the games moving, fine, whatever, keep the games shorter. As soon as it gets to the postseason when the games matter more, like you said, the relievers and stuff, do away with it. Hey, we're going back to normal, old school way. Pitch clock no more in effect. I mean, I kind of like that more than anything because I'd rather not my team get forced, like you said, a reliever that likes to take his time, make sure everything's on his P's and Q's. I think I'd like that more. But, I mean, are you in for or out for?
I'm
Indifferent? I mean, John's indifferent. He doesn't know yet.
I'm kind of just neither here nor there. I think it's kind of stupid. Sometimes, a game will just go on forever. It's like, man, can we please get this show on the road? But other times, like, the game is as long as the game is. That is the beauty of the game.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be a clock. What happens if I don't pitch it? Is it a ball? Does the guy get first base? What happens?
I don't know.
What if I take 14.5 seconds to pitch the ball?
Yeah. I don't know who's going to monitor it. I don't think they've outlined that. Yeah, shot clock.
Yeah, no.
Didn't they have
the
that
umpire shoots you. The umpire shoots you.
Didn't they actually have like a visible pitch clock in like when they were testing that out? I don't know if it was the minors or if it was like
I don't know
All-Star games or
I
something.
don't know if the pitcher himself can see it. I'm sure he can because at Clipper Stadium, once again, ring your bell, they have a huge.
It's this ship rocks.
Yes, this ship does rock indeed.
I'm saying I thought I remember them like testing that out on something.
They did it in the minors, I believe.
They still do it in the
minors?
minors. The
Yeah.
Clippers still have a pitch clock. You'll see it once they do the radar gun. You'll see like below it on like the dugouts. You'll see like a clock ticking, and I think they have more than 14 seconds. So I think that was an odd little ad, but I just really will be interested to see how it works out, especially if you have a guy that's got a no-hitter, a perfect game on the line. I think you'd be like pissed off if you're like, oh, you didn't make the 14 seconds and it's another ball, or he gets walked or whatever, and that ruins your whole game. You're like, I would just be pissed off at that point. And like you said, I don't know if they've outlined that yet. I don't know if it is a ball, if it's a, hey, that's a warning. Next one, he gets a free walk, like because that would affect your on base percentage because then you can't subtract that hit, right, or hitter. It'll be really interesting to see how they outline it. I don't know. It'll really be definitely up for discussion. I think definitely for not only today, tomorrow, and the next day, but for the months ahead, especially when the season gets underway. Knock on wood. Hopefully it does.
I personally don't like it.
Not a fan. I'm not a fan of it either. I think you should, like Will said, the game's going to take as long as it's going to take. That's the beauty of baseball. You can't run the clock out. You can't try and slow the game down. It is what it is.
I think from like a viewer perspective, yeah, it might have some benefits with like, oh, if a game's 1-1 going into ninth or something like that, just like, or like 1-0 or something like that. Like, come on, let's try to do something. But like, if you're having a pitch for like the pitcher's aspect of it, if you're getting rattled, like if somebody just hit like you get like back
3 or 4 hits,
doubles it on you or something like that, or whatever it may be, and you're gonna have to like keep stepping up, throwing, and you have no time to relax. That's a lot of pressure. With like even some of the younger guys that can like have the athletic ability to just like keep slinging, but like the mental aspect behind it, just being able to calm yourself down within that 14 seconds between a pitch, it's gonna be. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and they might even increase the visitor amount, the mound visits, and the catcher, pauses. They might increase it because you have a pitch clock now. It'll be interesting. We'll see how all these changes affect. The bigger bases one will be interesting, just as is, to increase stealings. I don't know if it actually will do it because statistics still tell you not to steal. It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Even the ones I don't like, I think the shift will be still terrible, but it is what it is. But moving on from MLB, Rob Manfred's still banned.
Yep.
Talked about that. We have NCAA men's basketball and NCAA women's basketball. Women's just starting their tournaments, getting through the tournament. So good luck to all the ladies. Shout out women's Kentucky basketball upsetting South Carolina to win the SEC championship. Huge there. Thought the Gamecocks were going to be it for the tournament. They probably still will be. You can have a bad game. Close game as always, but men's basketball is starting their run as well in the tournaments. And before they start, though, Ohio State, little hometown cooking here. Our boy here, Holy Buckeye.
Of course.
Chris Holtman record versus top 25 teams is not impressive. It's not bad. It's okay, I guess. It's 21-25. Versus top 10 teams, he's 500, which might be good, might be bad. I don't know how you compare that to like Krzyzewski, who's been coaching for 40 years. It's kind of hard to compare.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 wins over the number 1 teams in the nation: 2018 Michigan State, 2021 Duke when they came to Ohio State, and then 27 losses, which I think probably gets bumped up to 28 because I don't think Michigan's ranked. And they just lost to Michigan last night or 2 nights ago. 28 losses to unranked teams, which is about 5.5 per season. And and right now he's struggling to finish out the season. Kind of struggled to finish out the season last year too, even though they had a number 2 seed in the tournament. Couldn't get it done against Oral Roberts. Is he the right guy for Ohio State? Does Ohio State need to be looking for a new head coach here, or need to be dipping their toe in the pool of, hey, maybe this guy might not be for us? Who wants to go first here? I figured.
John, go ahead in your Buckeye garb.
Since I'm in my Buckeye garb, I'll go. I'm almost out on him.
Almost out.
I'm almost out. His only saving grace is his recruiting class this year, or for the upcoming season. We do have the number 5 recruiting class, and the class we have a good jump start on the 2023 class as well. So that's kind of his only saving grace for me right now. No Sweet 16s. I saw that every single Ohio State basketball coach has made the Sweet 16 in their first 4 years. The only one that didn't was only here for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And he has yet to do that. He's the only coach to not make the Sweet 16 in his first 4 years. We've just had great talent, and we failed with it in March. So,
where it matters most.
Where it matters most. So, I'm almost out of him. I'll give him the opportunity to make a Sweet 16 this year, and then I'll kind of be out on him if he doesn't.
You're going to give him one more time with this new recruiting class? Because this is what, year 4 for him?
I think.
Year 3 or 4?
4 or 5.
So, you're working in your 4 or 5. This is the point where you got your recruiting classes in. This is all you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
This is everything about it, everything working towards it. So, I definitely think you have a good stance on it. Will, we in or are we out?
I'm like 2 feet in.
You're all in. Chips are down.
I'm
on Chris
belly
Holtman.
flopping into the Chris Holtman pool party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Lay it on me.
I just have. Yeah. His shortcomings, his losses, were not. You can't beat around the bush. The losses happen. Oftentimes, the team that does not perform that well. But I really don't see what's the immediate upgrade here. Where are we actually going? I think a lot of Buckeye basketball fans kind of got spoiled with Thad Matta, where he went to he went to a national championship game. He went
countless
to another
Big Ten championships,
ton of Big Ten championship games, Sweet 16s, Elite Eights. And I think people are kind of expecting a lot from Buckeye basketball when that's really not what it is. It's
Ohio State's definitely a football school.
It's a football
more
school,
than anything.
And then when football's over, they'll turn on the basketball game. They'll see how they're doing. If they're pretty good, they'll watch. If they're not, they don't really care.
Yeah.
This isn't Duke. This isn't Kentucky.
Kansas, North Carolina. Yeah.
I do think they should be better. When I'm thinking about Buckeye basketball, where it is in the national landscape, where it should be, is on the sort of the second rung, right near the top of the second rung of teams. You got your Gonzagas, Kansas, you got your Kentuckys, you got Dukes, yeah, and then Ohio State should be right there underneath them.
Makes a deep run.
Yeah,
has a good thing.
Yeah, and right now it's just not happening for the Buckeyes. But I don't see this. I don't even understand this hoopla everyone has over this. Over Holtman and the way the team is. Yeah, I get it. The losses are what they are, but it's
everybody's got bad losses.
Nobody is walking through the door. Last year, the team was really good, and they got a tough draw in Oral Roberts. They did. Mm-hmm. The team was really good. They got a 2 seed, and
you had the highest scoring guy in D1
history.
It
just didn't work out. It wasn't in the cards.
Duke got bounced by Mercer not that long ago.
Yeah,
Shout out Ryan. He had Duke winning it all at that exact year in our March Madness bracket. He lost.
So, I'm totally still in on the Holtman train. I mean, maybe he could lose me, but I'm definitely still in right now.
I think you both have great points as well, and especially, I think I'm more on John's side than I am on your side. I agree with who you're going to get to replace him, right? It's been the argument for countless programs, right? Mm-hmm. Michigan was having, my brothers are big Michigan fans. They're on the same boat with the Jim Harbaugh. Okay, you get rid of Jim Harbaugh. What guy are you going to get that loves Michigan more than Jim Harbaugh, right? You're just not going to get that guy. When you look at Chris Holtman, if you get rid of him, what head coach? I mean, Krzyzewski's retiring. Like, he's not coming back. You're not going to have another Roy Williams. You're not going to have another Krzyzewski. You're not going to have, NBA coach Greg Popovich. You're probably going to be a good college coach. Come on down here and coach. Like, you're just not going to have those guys in a carousel running around. So I think you both have great points. But I'm more on John's side in the sense of that, like you said, Ohio State is a second-tier basketball program. Have some good teams, sometimes great teams, go far. Your Jimmer Fredette's, John Diebler's, your Evan Turner's, the Greg Oden's, those guys. You have those couple of years where you're like, okay, this is our year, we're going to make a deep run. Then you have your years like Thad Mottle's last couple of years where you're like, our team's not very good. We have Aaron Kraft, and he's our best scorer, which is terrible, right? So, when you have those kind of mindset, but you got the talent's there. Now, I understand Ohio State's a little injured, but you got to play through that, right? And you got to figure it out. And I think at some point you have to be like, okay, he's clearly not getting it done when it matters most, like you mentioned in March. I would say give him another year, maybe two, depending on what shakes out. Because if you get plagued with injuries, sometimes I don't think that's fair to knock a coach for that. You can't, especially in basketball, when one guy can really carry a team. Like imagine Zion Williams tearing his ACL. Does Duke still get the 1 seed? Probably not. Or any blue blood that has these stud athletes that are going to be carrying these guys' teams, tear their ACL, whatever. You're just not going to. That's just going to be unfortunate for you. I hope Ohio State still is relevant here in the coming weeks and in the Big Ten tournament and March Madness. I think that you should be seeing at least a Sweet 16 consistently, especially when you can't be losing to teams like the 2 seed. I don't care how good they are, you're supposed to beat them. Their talent is this much, our talent's supposed to be this much, and when this talent runs out and our talent runs out, we should still have more. Mm-hmm. And that just isn't the case. But that is the beauty of basketball. Same thing with baseball, right? You got one stud pitcher. A D3 team just beat Iowa. Like, that could happen every day of the week, twice on Sunday. You get a JUCO team, you get a D3 team all across the country with a stud pitcher can beat any D1 team. Just is what it is. That's the beauty of basketball. That's the beauty of baseball. College football, you take a D3 school versus a D1 school, they're not going to win. That's just how it is. But I see both arguments, but I'm more on John's side than I am on Will's side. But moving on from the Ohio State hate and the Ohio State knocks a little bit, as we mentioned before, all conference plays will be ramping up here in the next couple days. In the next couple weeks here, we'll see our conference champions. So, with that being said, let's go right through the big conferences that we're talking about. Big Ten, ACC, Big East, SEC, Big 12, and Pac-12. Your 6 major conferences when it comes to Big Ten. Basketball. So Big Ten, let's start with them first. Who we think is going to be the title favorite for the Big Ten Championship, or who do we like here? Who wants to go first?
Big Ten, kind of a tough one to call. There's a lot.
Is the Big Ten the best conference in basketball?
No.
Oh God, sorry.
No, it's not.
My fault. Go on, Big Ten though.
But the Big Ten does have a lot of good squads. Ohio State not being one of them. But you got Purdue, you got Illinois, you got Wisconsin, you got Iowa. And I am actually going to pull one out of my hat. I searched around in this UTEP Miners hat, I pulled it out, and I said, I'm going to take the Iowa Hawkeyes to win the tournament.
Iowa Hawkeyes, what are they?
They're the
5 seed or 4 seed?
I thought they were 4.
Yeah, they might be the 4
No,
seed.
Rutgers is 4. Iowa's 5.
But shout out Rutgers.
Yeah, shout out Rutgers. Hey,
Go Knights.
Chop.
Go Knights.
Yeah, go
Knights. But I think Iowa's a great pick. They obviously can play. They're talented.
They played really well towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Basketball is all about getting hot at the right time.
And they lost on Sunday, I believe, to Illinois by 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Illinois, really good squad. I think, I believe it was at Illinois as well.
At Illinois.
Yes. So, I'm just going to pull that out of my hat. I'm going to say, boom, Iowa, I'll take you. I'll give it to you. Here you go. Have a nice one.
Move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, John, who we got? Who we liking?
I kind of like the Boilermakers here.
Okay.
I think they have that Wisconsin loss for the Big Ten. That's going to be fresh in their minds. Wisconsin won on some bank shot, second shot. I think that's going to be in there. I kind of like Purdue to win the Big Ten.
I'm kind of also in the same boat as you. I like the Purdue one just because all of their major losses, or some of their big losses, they've lost 4 losses on last-second shots.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's just something you just don't see. Like, that's an anomaly, right? But the team I'm going to take, and this might be, out of left field and it's going to be a dark horse, is I'm going to take Michigan. And the only reason I'm taking Michigan is the last time they were an 8 seed, they ran through the entire Big Ten and won the championship. So I'm going to just be like this. I'm going to take my flyer. I think Purdue's going to be great. I think they probably actually will end up winning the Big Ten. But my flyer is Michigan because last time they were an 8 seed, they went through and they did it. They get Juwan back. They played well. They played really well late. I think it'll be interesting for Michigan here, and I'm pulling for the boys in blue to finish it out here in the tournament just because of last time. Last time they're 8 seed.
I think I just
Who do you got?
I just felt Payne do a fist pump in a squad car right now.
Payne is currently in Boca Raton, so
Oh,
he is no longer in the United States, or he's in Cancun or something like that. So he might not even see this, but that's just something I saw. I thought that was an interesting take. Ryan, who you got? Big Ten tournament.
I'm gonna go with Boilermakers. I know it's kind of, safe.
They're great. They're great.
But I think they probably have one of the best players in the country in Jaden Ivey.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a
And
dog.
underrated player in the country
Granted,
as well.
they did lose to Michigan almost by 30.
Yeah,
That happens. That's basketball. That happens, though. You know what I mean?
But no, I do think the Boilermakers, and honestly, looking at the bracket side of it, the Boilermakers have the easiest road too. I mean, they might play Ohio State, so there you go.
Hey, you never know. If Ohio State gets healthy again, they might be great.
I wish. I don't. That's another thing with Ohio State too. I don't know if they're going to be full healthy come tournament time. Because if they get Suing back, and if they get Seth Towns, which both of them were really really big players going into this season, and then they lost them both again. Seth Towns, that's 2 seasons in a row.
Well, he's done it. He did it when he was at Harvard too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, he's not very good anyways.
oh God, Jesus. All right, fair enough. But you got the Boilermakers as well. So we got 2 Boilermakers, Michigan, and we said Iowa.
I'm saying
All right, so we'll go from the Big Ten, stay on the East Coast, ACC, and then we'll go to the Big East next. So ACC, who we like out of the ACC, John?
I mean, it's chalk, but I'm going Duke. I think this North Carolina loss fresh in their minds.
Right.
They
You can't leave Krzyzewski on that note, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, looking at the bracket, I mean, as the 1 seed should, they have the easiest road.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go chalk here. I'm gonna go Duke.
I'm gonna speak for myself first. I'm going Duke as well. Maybe if you got something different.
I'm going with Duke.
Duke, we're going Duke.
I'm going with Coach
It's hard.
K.
Coach K last year. Hey, it's the last dance for him. It's gonna be hard. They got one of the best players in all of basketball. I think it's hard to go against them. So you say you're sticking with Duke as well?
I'm sticking with my Dukies. Duke's going to be motivated. Duke's going to be motivated to cut down some nets. After taking that loss.
And a bad one too.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my Dukies.
Really screwed our picks over here. So
Yeah, Coach K.
appreciate you.
I'm looking good. I don't know what you're
Thank
talking
you,
about.
Coach.
You picked Duke. You didn't pick UNC.
That's fine. The rest of my picks.
Ryan, who you got from the ACC? You got Duke as well.
I'm going Duke as well. I feel like this year's a really weird year for the ACC when it comes to basketball.
Well, I mean, UNC's terrible.
I
So
mean-
that's anytime you have UNC being terrible, that is weird.
So UNC's terrible. Duke, I mean, they're Duke. I
right.
mean, granted, this is a good year for them considering the past few years they've been.
Yeah.
But where's Virginia? Or where's Syracuse or
Yeah.
Miami? Those teams are
Louisville.
yeah.
I mean, ever since
Yeah.
Louisville
Teams
got
that
hit
you're
with
those are almost
band,
blue,
they have been great
borderline
since.
blue blood programs
Right.
that are just where are they?
And Notre Dame's the 2 seed in that bracket.
Yeah.
They're not even ranked.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting for the ACC, especially. I mean, obviously anything can happen, but I think Duke's the easy lock here. Moving to the Big East, though, who do we like out of the Big East? Can I go first?
You can go first.
I am going
First,
with
go first.
my guy, Mr. Wilson, from Bishop Reedy High School. The Friars, Providence. I'm
Friars.
riding
Going
Providence,
with
and the
the
Friars. Our teacher went to Providence, right?
Yeah.
that's the whole reason he had the
He
pin.
claims to.
He claims
He's a
to.
big
We
Friar.
don't know. We don't know.
He claims to.
I'm taking Providence. I think they have been an underrated team all year. Obviously, you could pick Villanova. You could pick like Xavier or Butler. You could pick those guys that have done the tournament, done well always.
Mm-hmm.
I think Providence has been one of the most underrated teams in all of basketball, not just in the Big East. Obviously, they won the Big East; they're the 1 seed. But I think Providence is a really good pick here. I'm rolling with the Friars.
Yeah. I was thinking about going UConn just because I thought the majority would be on Providence, but I can't go against Providence. I think they're
Right.
the best team in the Big East. I think they're in the
Consistently too, as well.
Yeah, and I think they're in the top 10 or they're like 11 or something in the
Yeah,
AP
they're
poll.
fringy.
So I'll go with Providence.
We rocking Friar Nation, or are we going Nova? We going Butler? Where are we going here, John?
Well, I reached into my tiny little hat here.
Okay, UTEP.
Well, it's not that tiny. It's a normal size hat.
Normal
Reached
size.
in my hat here. And
Go Miners.
I said, okay, there's Providence, there's Villanova, there's UConn. What's going on? And I came out with the UConn
Huskies. Go
Okay.
Huskies. Hey, rough. All my dogs. Roof.
Yes, all my dogs.
All right. Cardiac
Ooh.
Kimba gonna
Yes,
show up.
Yes, I do like Providence though. I am a big Providence fan. But if you're asking me who do I think is going to make it farther in the tournament, I'm actually leaning towards Villanova doing that.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
I like it.
Ryan, Big East.
I'm gonna go a little chalk here. I'm gonna go Nova. I got some friends that I know are Nova fans, and I mean, Nova's won that tournament and that conference how many
Consistently,
times
yeah.
in the past? I mean, they're like the Gonzaga of that conference.
Yeah.
Even though that conference is a million times better than whatever conference Gonzaga's in, but like,
Right. But I mean, it's hard to go against. It's hard to go against what you've done. I mean, sometimes consistency is key here. But going to one that I think will be, I think the most exciting. Personally, I'm going to say the Big 12 here. I think that'll be a really exciting, just an exciting tournament for conference wise.
exciting?
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be
I think it'll be exciting.
exciting?
I really do think it'll be exciting.
Exciting or boring?
I think if I had to pick between exciting and boring, I'm going to say exciting.
Oh.
So I mean, I think you
That's
have a
cool.
lot of really talented teams in this. But Big East, Big 12. John, who we got coming out?
So I'm going back and forth. Texas Tech or Kansas. I'm going Texas Tech. I just kind of like their team. They got a good chemistry going on. They play well together. I think they can make a run, and I'm going with Texas Tech.
Okay, hey,
Red Raiders.
Red Raider.
Red
That's how we do it. Will, in this exciting Big 12 matchup, the one that's really exciting.
Let me tell you, this is going to be a tournament filled with excitement.
Excitement. Okay, what do we got? Who we got coming from it?
There is, there's a ton of parity in the league. Clearly, the number 1 seed Kansas Jayhawks, number 2 seed Baylor, somethings.
Number 4, Texas.
Baylor somethings. What are they?
Baylor Bears.
The Baylor Bears.
Signal.
Right. Note to Baylor, maybe pick a more interesting mascot next time. Anyways,
Just a heads up.
they are the favorites, and I got to do it. I got to go with my homie, Mr. Bill Self, and the Kansas Jayhawks.
Rock Chalk.
Yeah, I got to do it.
I think actually a dark horse here would be really huge. Would be Iowa State. I'm not picking them. I think they will be a dark horse for us because I think Texas Tech is going to beat them.
Mhm.
But I think that if Iowa State was going to upset, I think they could run through the rest of that. But I'm going to pick actually the defending champs. I'm going Baylor here. I'm going Baylor Bears.
How many times have you picked Baylor this season?
4.
How many times have they won when you pick them?
This is when it matters.
This is when it matters most. Don't worry, this is when it matters.
They're not going to
turn
mail it in.
They're gonna turn it on.
The butt game is pretty important.
Listen. All I'm going to say is
They lost
this:
that.
they are what I would call a light switch. They're just going to turn it on. They're just going to flip it on. They're just going to go.
What an analogy.
One analogy. It's like when a room's dark and you're like, oh my god, we're the Baylor Bears. Bam, light switch on. They're there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm picking Baylor.
I'm sure that's what it is. Yes.
I really hope, to all things good and gracious, if they lose, especially to Oklahoma, or don't win this, if they don't make the final, I'm never picking Baylor again. You can book it. You can mark it. Mark my words here.
All right, put this down, folks. If Baylor loses or
Doesn't make the championship. I don't even
if
care if
Baylor
they lose.
does not make the championship, Harrison is picking Baylor to lose their first round game in the tournament.
Facts. I'll put it on my bracket. All right.
Okay.
Ryan, Big 12. In the exciting Big
for
12.
the exciting Big 12, I'm gonna go the exciting pick of Kansas.
All right. Hey, Rock
That's
Chalk.
very
Rock
exciting.
Chalk.
That is
Rock
very
Chalk.
exciting.
Jayhawk.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Yep.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
So shout out them. I mean, I almost threw the Ivy League in here just for funsies. But moving on to the team that's got the biggest, baddest boys in all of football. You know, the hardest conference ever. The Pac-12. I'm glad you were with me on that one. Pac-12, moving to them. John, who we like out of the Pac-12? Are we going go Buffs? Underrated team?
I have it on
We're going
here.
go Cats?
I was gonna give the Buffs a little shout out, but I gotta go the Cats. Arizona destroyed the LA schools all year.
Oh, yeah.
I think them and Colorado are gonna be the only real
Competition
for Arizona. And I just trust Arizona more than these other teams. So I'm gonna go Wild.
I gotta hear what you have to say. I gotta hear it.
I was between my UCLA Bruins, my UCLA Bruins here, but the last two times I've picked against them, they've won. So if I pick them now, they're gonna piss me off and lose.
So true.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick my UCLA Bruins. All right. So I'm going UCLA here. I'm picking UCLA. I think that they're gonna catch fire here. I think they're a really good team. Juzang has the experience to take over a game. He did it all year last year, especially as a playing team, and they beat Michigan State, and they went on that magical run. Upset the number 2 seed in like the second round of, I think it was Arizona or something like that, or whoever it was, or Oklahoma State or something, and then they beat Michigan, the 1 seed, and they pretty much probably should have beat Gonzaga if Suggs didn't hit that runner from half court. I think if they go into overtime, I think UCLA is on top. I'm picking UCLA. I think they're going to be a dark horse for not only this tournament, and not this tournament, but for the main tournament. I think they're obviously a 2 seed for a reason. I'm looking for UCLA here. Who you got?
Well, let's give us a little history lesson here. So
Okay.
last season,
Alright.
Oregon State was the 5th seed in the Pac-12 tournament.
Okay, lay it on me.
And they were they were not going to get in the tournament.
No shot.
We do not think.
Go Beavs.
Go Beavs. And then they got hot. They ran through the league tournament. They won the Pac-12 championship.
Okay.
They carried that momentum into an Elite 8 appearance.
And a big win, too, in the tournaments, too. They upset the 1 seed?
No, because Chicago Loyola beat
Illinois.
and then they beat Chicago Loyola.
I cannot recall the bracket by memory.
That is all right, but are you big on the Beavs, right? Am I going to see a 12 seed make
The 3-27.
All right, go on. No, go on.
Whoa. So,
Beavs.
no.
I'm saying you were saying about
Finish the story.
I'm saying you were saying about the Beavs. Go on.
So the Beavs got hot. They won the tournament. They went on a fire run.
Okay.
They went on a fire run. But then I look. Oregon State's won 3 games this year. Yo, that is rough. And then I'm looking at my Colorado Buffaloes.
Your Buffs.
Hey,
Go
My
Buffs.
Colorado Buffaloes.
Fear the Stampede.
Now they are not the 5th seed. They are the 4 seed. They're
Okay.
even better. So does the Pac-12 have another conference or another Cinderella story in this conference tournament? I am here
Why
to
not?
tell you. Why not? Why couldn't it be
Why
the
can't
Buffalo,
it be them?
the Colorado Buffs? And I'll tell you why not. Because Arizona is going to win the Pac-12 tournament.
So are you big on the Cats? You think the
I'm
Mountain
big
Cats?
on
All right.
on the Arizona Cats. Yeah.
Hey, go Cats.
But
so,
hey, shout out Corvallis, beautiful town in Oregon.
hey, all I gotta say is Oregon State. This may not be your year, but there's always
Hey man, all those games were close.
Dude, man,
Yeah,
that
sure.
is such a raw
Nebraska?
record to look at.
Oregon State. They're right there. Right there. I don't
Yeah.
know. Ryan, Pac-12. Who we got?
I'm going UCLA.
You're going UCLA?
Oh.
All right, well, go Cats.
Come on! Come on to the UCLA side here, Ryan. I appreciate you. Welcome. We are open arms, okay? I think our last one is the SEC, which I think will be actually one of the more interesting ones as well. I think the Big 12 is definitely going to be the biggest one. I think the SEC will be a fun one as well. So who we got coming out of the SEC? John, lay it on me.
So there's a couple ways you can go here.
Pick the hometown favorite, obviously, with Auburn.
I'm going to go Kentucky. I just think they're really hitting their stride right now.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, they got the best coach in the conference. So I'm just going to go Kentucky.
They
Go Wildcats.
they got one of the best basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably the Wooden winner of the award. Wooden's the best player of the year award. I can't remember the name of it. Wooden Award or winner or whatever. But I think that's a great pick, and I've got a buddy that's big on Kentucky, so I might be in that boat with you. Will?
So I'm looking at the SEC here. I'm looking at the Southeastern Conference Basketball
Association of America.
the SEC Basketball League, and I'm thinking, okay, so we got a lot of tournament teams here.
For sure. At least, I think 4 or 5.
At minimum.
More than 5.
Yeah, 5 locks at least. And you know, the team that's sticking out to me is that number 1 seed, Auburn. Yeah, they are sticking out to me. They've played. I mean, they're 16-0 at home, and 27-4 overall. And I just think that they have played the best in totality, like throughout the whole season in the SEC. So I'm going with War Eagle, Auburn Tigers for the dub.
I think that is a good point. I was going to bring up their home record. It is impeccable. It was Ohio State at one point. But I'm actually going to go against not only Kentucky,
No way.
not only against Auburn.
Don't say it.
I'm going Vanderbilt.
What?
No, I'm not going Vanderbilt. Stop it. No, I'm with Will. I'm going Auburn
okay,
here. War Eagle. Claw up. I know my buddy that's a big Alabama fan is probably not going to like that, so I'm going against them. I'm going against Kentucky. I think the home game matters the most here. I know they don't necessarily play at the home stadiums. I think it just matters when you have a team that's consistently can play the best. I think the biggest rival that they're going to have is Kentucky when that is, but I think that Auburn's got the length. I think they've got the skill. They've got the talented players, and I think just the couple losses they had were kind of flukes, like the Arkansas loss to them. I mean, that is just, they played out of their mind. They had that one, I think it was a freshman, he had like 27 points. Like, you just won't see that very often with some young guys. So I think Auburn's got the experience, they got the talent, and I think they're going to run away with it personally.
Man, Georgia's 6-25. How does that happen?
Hey, but they won a college football national championship.
That's all that matters.
Shout
who
out
was,
to the Bulldogs.
Oh man, you're gonna kick me off the show.
What?
Who was Georgia? I think it was the number 1 pick. A couple years ago, didn't Georgia have a player in the NBA?
Oh, in the NBA?
Yeah.
God, what's his name? I don't think he was the number 1 pick, but he was a pretty high pick. God, what the hell's his name? Look that up.
I'm looking it up.
Ryan,
Georgia NBA.
Ryan, who we got SEC
I'm
here?
going Tennessee.
Oh God. Volt?
No, that's a good pick.
Vols?
Volunteers.
Go Vols.
They've won 9 of the last 10.
Every time I picture that, they fucking piss me off. Go
9 of the last 10. The one loss was to Arkansas, but they rebounded and beat them for the last game of the year. They beat Auburn in that stretch and Kentucky. So I think they're probably the most hot team in the SEC right now.
Arguably all of basketball.
All
You're beating
I think
two
it's
top 10
exciting. It's
teams
exciting.
right there.
It's exciting.
It's
No,
exciting.
I-
Not near as exciting as the Big 12. I can't emphasize that enough.
He was the number 1 overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft. It was Anthony Edwards. Currently
Oh,
plays for the
golly,
Minnesota
yeah.
Timberwolves.
He's not bad at basketball.
No, he is 20 years old.
He went to
was
Georgia?
born in 2001.
He was the only good thing Georgia had.
Yeah.
He left. They got 6 wins now. They're terrible.
Well, and they weren't even like good when he was there.
No.
He was just
Yeah.
dropping like 80
He was
points a
dropping
game.
like 30 points and be like,
Yeah.
all right, we lost. That's cool. Whatever. No, I wouldn't kick you off. Anthony Edwards is my guy. He's on my fantasy team.
Oh, is he?
He's currently out right now, which is kind of
Oh.
pissing me off, but that is what it
There you
is. Before we wrap up the whole conference talk here, do we have any teams we should look out of in the major? I mean, obviously Gonzaga. Like, should look out for them.
Yeah, are we gonna pick their conference?
I think
you think Pepperdine Waves could?
well,
I think Pepperdine Wave's going to give us a dark
Going
horse
with,
here. Right?
Gonzaga.
well, we're already in the championship game.
Yeah,
for
they
that
have their
one. They're already in the
championships
championship
tonight.
game, so it's a little late for that one. But
Come on, Gonzaga. Come on. I'm saying that other than like Gonzaga, we got any other dark horse teams that we should be looking out for the whole tournament. I think some of the you get the small ones. I think Buffalo obviously is in the Buffs, Colorado Buffs obviously are in a major conference, but they're going to be a dark horse. But have we got any teams we should be looking out for?
I'll give you one that maybe you should look out for. Maybe you should write it down.
Okay.
But the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Okay.
I could see them sneaking into that SEC championship game.
Okay.
I could see them sneaking into a Sweet 16 second weekend. So I kind of like the Arkansas Razorbacks, team that we didn't hit earlier.
I think out of a non-major conference, the 2 teams I think you should look out for is St. Mary's, and I think you should also be looking out for my Loyola Chicago. I mean, I know that they obviously always have the Cinderella run with Sister Jean and all that stuff, but I think they've done well these past couple years, and I think experience matters. So, John, you got any dark horse teams we should be looking out for not in the major conferences?
I'm sticking the SEC for mine.
Okay.
I kind of like LSU. I think they could be like a 6 or 7 seed that beats the 2 or 3 seed in the second round and make the Sweet 16. I kind of like LSU.
Okay. Ryan, you got anybody?
Not in particular, no.
Oh, okay. Well, we're real excited.
Well,
Calm down.
He doesn't have anything particular.
Calm down over there, man. Sorry
He
about
doesn't
that.
have anything particular for us.
Well, that kind of wraps up the segments there. So let's move into our games of the week. Ryan and John, big winners of the week. 7-10, 6-10. John's on fire. He's pissing straight fire. He's got chlamydia, right? He's shooting it out, right? Will and I have gone cold.
Yeah.
Will, what do we got to do? We got to figure it out.
We got to figure it out.
We got to figure it out. We need to UTEP it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We need to
UTEP
UTEP it up. I just got a call from a sorcerer, and he said he's going to hook me up.
He's going to hook you up. Okay. I'm hoping I'm riding that train. Will and I both went 4-10, so not our best week, obviously. But overall, 29-50 for your boy. Eric with the 25-50.
Yikes.
John with 33-50. And then Ryan with 32-50. So moving on to the games that we think you should be looking out for. NBA, Suns at Heat, March 9th. Nets at Sixers, March 10th. That'll be an interesting game with James Harden going back to the Nets. Ben Simmons obviously has been ruled out, but I think it'll be an interesting game. Cavs at Heat, March 11th. Shout out the Cavs. Bucks at Warriors, March 12th. And then Cavs at Bulls, March 12th as well. So let's get to the games that we're going to pick out of here. Suns at Heat, March 9th. Who's first? Will's first. You want to go first? Let's go, Will.
Boom. Heat. Taking the dub.
Taking the Heat. Who's next? Who are we going next here? John, you want to go next?
Yep, I'll go with the Heat. I just think Victor Oladipo being back, the Heat are
back. The Heat are healthy.
The Heat are healthy.
Watch out.
Watch out. Is it me or you next, Ryan?
Me, I'm going Heat.
You're going Heat, and then gotta pick my boys, right? Last time we beat the Suns, we beat them by 23 at their place. I don't know if Devin Booker or Chris Paul is gonna be back. We're healthy. We're here. Heat. Ride it till it dies. Ride it till the wheels fall off. We've won 8 of our last 10, and we were 1 turnover away from beating the Bucks. So that's all I'm saying.
Oh, you know what they called that? They called that a loss.
They did call a loss. So
losing.
pick the Heat. Clean sweep there. We're going there. Next, Nets at Sixers. The little drama around it all. So I figured that'd be a fun one to pick. Nets at Sixers. Will, who you got?
I'm going with the Sixers playing at home, and the Nets are like
In disarray.
8 out of their last 10 or something.
They've lost more than that. They have out of their last 20 games.
They've lost 18.
They've lost 17.
17. I'm close on the stats. Sorry, guys.
They're just as bad as the Rockets. The Rockets are also 3-17 in the last
Don't be
20
hating on
games.
Jay Sean Tate.
I am hating on Jay Sean Tate. I am 100% doing
Pick
that.
her
I'm hating on
Tate's
Kata Bates Dio.
Yeah, picks.
Okay, I don't know.
Pick North's finest.
Pick North's finest. John, who you got?
Yeah, cute little-
Sixers or Nets?
Yeah, cute little game to pick, but it's the Sixers.
It's the
Okay.
Sixers.
Ryan, are you picking the Sixers?
76.
I'm picking the Sixers. It's a clean sweep again. I think James Harden's going to be coming back, dropping. I wouldn't be surprised if he drops 80. All right, I think it's going to happen. Now for the hometown team that's beat to shit versus a team that's also not playing well, but it's going to be a good game. It's going to be probably an Eastern Conference maybe matchup here. So Cavs at Bulls March 12th. Will, who you got?
It pains me to say it. It pains me to say it. But the Bulls are going to take this W.
John. Don't say it. Are they? Are they
If
back?
the Cavs win this game, they're back. So I'm going with the Cavs.
Cavs are back.
I'm going with the Cavs. The Bulls have lost like 4 or 5 straight
Yeah.
as of the recording of this video, so
Yeah.
give me the Cavs.
Ryan?
I'm going to go with Bulls. I know it's probably not the best
The safe pick.
right now with how they're playing, but I'm going to go Bulls.
I'm also going Bulls strictly because of how injured the Cavs are.
Yeah.
I think if you don't have your big rim protector, I think that'll be hard. So going against hometown team, sorry guys, going Bulls. But NCAA men's basketball conference play, so we're not going to pick anything there. We just went over those terms. Same thing with women's. Moving straight to our NHL games. We're savvy. We like to change up. We're a big NHL show now. We like to play with the pucks on the ground.
Oh,
we like
yeah.
to play with the razor blades on our feet.
Keep the stick on the ice.
Keep the stick on the ice, no high sticking. Let's go. Blue Jackets at Islanders March 10th. Lightning at Flames March 10th. And then Hurricanes at Pens March 13th. Those are the 3 big games we think you should be looking out for. Obviously, our hometown team. Let's start with them there. Blue Jackets at Islanders. Will, who we got?
Let me tell you guys, it's time to put on your jackets.
Oh!
CJ, take the W.
I think that was really good. Hey, sir, you can come on my show anytime.
Thank you.
All right, John, who you got?
So the only BJs in my house are the Blue Jays.
Oh, yes. That's my guy. Hey, zing. Hey, zing. Hey, we're zinging. Ryan, who we got here?
I'm gonna go with Islanders actually.
This fucking guy. You wonder why he's off screen.
Yeah.
But do you feel the temperature dropping?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a cold front.
Coming
Make
in.
sure you bring your jackets, because I'm picking the jackets here. Look, we're not the best team in the NHL. Not even close. But guess what? Islanders suck too. And we're going to suck less than them. We're going to beat the Jackets. Here we go. Ryan can suck one. That's why he's not on camera. Next, Lightning at Flames. You got the Tampa Bay Lightning, who won the NHL a few years ago, or last year, actually.
Two-time defending champions.
Two-time back-to-back. Can they go back-to-back-to-back? We'll see. And then the Flames, who are a hot team, pun intended. Will, who you got?
Why don't you remind me? I'm going to send it over to you,
Okay.
and you're going to tell me who I'm picking.
Does Lightning strike twice? Is he going to strike a third time?
I believe it will strike a third time.
Okay, Will's going with the Lightning. I
Tampa
respect
Bay
that.
Lightning.
Tampa Bay Lightning. John, who we got here?
I'm a Flames guy this year. I really like the Flames, so give me the Flames.
All right, Ryan,
I'm going Tampa Bay.
the Thunderstorm, you little Lightning guy.
Mm-hmm.
John, I'm with you, buddy. It's hot. It's hot in Tampa,
Battle?
and it's about to get hotter when the Flames come in there, and when the Lightning comes in, and the Flames gonna put it out. That's all
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying. You can't have Lightning without Flames. That's all I'm saying. So I'm picking the Flames as well. Last one, Hurricanes at Pens. Don't pay attention to my logic. Will, who we got?
Going with the Pens. I always pick the Pens. I don't even keep track if they win or not. I know that they are hitting. Going with the Pens.
Going with the Pens. Die-hard Pens
Yeah.
fan here.
Super big.
The Penguins are kind of hot right now, so I'm just going to ride the hot hand. I'm going to go with the Penguins.
All right, Ryan, Pens.
Pens as well.
Pens.
Clean sweep?
I've picked the Hurricanes 3 times on this show. They've lost every single time, so I'm sticking with my death taxes and Sidney Crosby. I'm going Pens as well. That is a clean sweep, I believe. Check me if I'm wrong.
Clean
Yeah, we all
sweep.
picked Pens. Okay,
It's
so
correct.
I'm going Pens.
Is correct.
MLS games, we had a good little pick there. These past ones, they all push, so those count as wins for us. Moving on, Crew at Toronto, March 12th. Seattle at LA Galaxy, the 12th. And then the Red Bulls at Minnesota, the 13th. We're going to pick between the Crew and Toronto, March 12th. Who you got, Will?
Boom. Columbus Crew. Playing for my boys.
Playing for the boys. I love that. John?
I'm going to go with the Crew. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about soccer, but I know Toronto sucks.
Hey,
So,
Toronto does
Toronto
suck.
sucks.
Ryan, Crew or
Crew as
Toronto?
well.
Hey, listen, fans. It's time to bring your hard hat to work, all right? Because we're getting with the Crew here. And if you're just a new Crew fan, welcome. But that used to be our whole thing. We always said bring your hard hats, and we always brought the yellow hard hats. So go Crew. We're going for a clean sweep there. Next, one Seattle at LA Galaxy. Who we got, Will?
This is a tough one. I love both teams so much. LA Galaxy, Seattle Sounders FC.
Right.
Who do I pick?
Who do you pick?
I'm picking the LA Galaxy.
LA Galaxy. Will loves himself some La La Land. John, who we going with?
I'm going to go with LA too.
Hard to pick against. Great
Yeah.
team. Great team.
I'm just going to take your word for it.
All right. Ryan, who we
I'm
got?
going LA as well.
Well, I'll tell you all this. You're all stupid. You're all wrong. Go to Seattle. We're going Seattle for me. I'm picking Seattle because they have been to the MLS Cup like 3 out of the past 5 years. They're consistently great. They got great ownership. They got great fans. And
They have good
fears.
fans.
Fear-
I didn't know the fans were playing.
That was aggressive. Jesus Christ, Will. All right, moving into our. Do we have a new pick here? I think we have a new pick.
Got a
Am
new
I
sport
seeing that
here.
right? We got a new sport.
Hold on.
New sport?
We got a new sport.
This looks like it's a new sport.
New sport alert.
New sport alert.
Since MLB and Rob Manfred decided to suck my soul out, we're going to go with the college boys. College baseball, underrated sport, underrated watched sport in general. We're bringing them up. Games to look out for: number 9 Notre Dame at number 22 NC State, March 11th, and OH at West Virginia, March 12th. Who we picking between here? Notre Dame at NC State. Who we taking?
Well, let me just pop in real quick.
Pop it in.
It is a sad state of affairs for Midwest college baseball, where basically nobody cares. I don't even know when the games are. I didn't even know they started. I did not know they were started playing games. You look at the SEC and they are just like all about it.
Yeah.
You go
Shout
out
out Texas.
You go out to the Pac-12; they're all about it as well. But anyways, Notre Dame at NC State. I'm going with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Fighting Irish. John, who we got?
I'd like to dedicate my picks this week to not Rob Manfred. Fuck you.
And you're still banned.
And you're still banned from this
Okay.
podcast. But I'm going to go with the Fighting Irish. I like NC State too, but just give me Notre Dame.
Ryan, Notre Dame or NC State? We going Wolfpack, we going Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame as well.
All right, Notre Dame. Well, you guys are all wrong once again. Leprechauns aren't real. Wolfpacks are. So I'm going to take Wolfpack. That dude, I can't remember his name. He's the same statement. He just basically hits home runs and hits tanks. I'm trusting NC State. They're a hot team. They're going to be great. It's this little series split. I think that I like NC State here, so I'm going Wolfpack. Last game to pick from: Ohio State Buckeyes at the West Virginia the Mountain Men. Do the Mountain Men beat the Bucks? I don't know. Will, who we got?
Yes, the Mountain Men will be winning the game. The Mountaineers of West Virginia.
West Virginia.
How about the Mirrors? Give me the Mountaineers.
Ryan, we going Mountaineers or we going OH?
I'll go West Virginia.
I think all roads lead home. And as our good friend John Denver, who passed away, RIP, he'd be on the pod if we could.
He would be.
But he's dead. John Denver, take me home. Country roads. West Virginia, I'm bucking it. West Virginia, that's a clean sweep for all of us. We're all picking West Virginia, rolling with us.
He only died like 30 years ago.
He's still dead. You're still out. You're still fat.
Wait, I just looked it up. Yep, can confirm. All
John
roads
Denver
take- all
is
roads-
dead. John Denver's dead, and all roads where?
Yeah.
Take you home.
Take you home, country roads. Shout out West Virginia. All right.
You're just acting like we just missed it. God damn it. John Denver.
He just passed on.
God.
All right, last segment, the Ryan's 2-minute drill. Where's the clock? Where should I point? Where should I point?
I'm not gonna have a clock, but you can.
Wow, no clock.
I,
no
you
clock.
can count it, but
All right.
I'm not gonna physically put a clock.
All right, I got a clock on my lappy top here.
All
Okay.
Right. Once you start talking, it starts counting.
All right, Ryan, are you ready?
I'm
2-minute
ready.
drill. Will, you ready?
I'm ready.
John.
I'm
Quick hits, quick information, quick tickets. Ready? Go.
All right, wide receiver Calvin Ridley has been suspended for the 2022 season due to sports betting. Do you want to see more people get caught sports betting, even though he bet like was $1,500?
He has a gambling problem.
I want to see more people getting caught. I want to see every single gambler caught and thrown in jail.
I think more people will get caught. Maybe not in the NFL, but just in sports in general.
Yeah, it's out of seat. Ryan, go.
All right, Tom Izzo set the record for the most overall wins at a Big Ten school. Is he the GOAT Big Ten coach?
Nope, Bobby Knight.
Yeah, still gotta go to Bobby Knight.
I'm going Tom Izzo. I think he proved it. He is it. Bobby Knight might be in it if he doesn't throw a chair.
Bobby Knight like 5 titles. Tom Izzo won like 25 years ago.
Hey, he has. Yep. Go on.
All right.
All right, Charlotte FC set the record for the MLS attendance record, 74,479 in attendance. Is this a big dub for the MLS?
I think it's a big dub for the MLS. New team, or are they?
Yeah, they're like new.
New team set the record. That's good for the MLS.
I think it shows that there's actually a market for soccer in the USA, which a lot of people shit on. So I think it's huge.
Yeah, it's kind of cute, I guess.
Jesus, John, that's more than some NFL teams. Go whatever, John. Whatever. Screw you,
All right.
John.
Go on.
Last one.
Ohio State is the only team in CFB history to have a pair of wide receivers run a sub 4.440, and they have done it twice. Is Ohio State wide receiver you?
Not right now. In 2 years, it will be.
I think Ohio State is Brian Hartline is the greatest recruiting coach for any position ever for wide receivers, 100%, and he develops.
Yeah, I was gonna say what Eric said. The recruiting classes have just been insane recently, so they're going to be if they're not already.
All right, we beat it. We got about 15 seconds left.
All right.
Oh,
But
any
I
last
want to
comments?
add one more thing.
Wait, one more thing. Hurry up, hurry up!
All right, Coach K, last season Duke, last game Duke home game.
Shit the bed.
Crazy.
What about it? What about it?
They shit the bed. They
He's
suck.
blowing it. He
They
came out there. He
lost.
said, "That's just unacceptable."
Hey, no.
Nope. And also the freaking tickets were like $70,000. That's ridiculous. But
All right.
There's only like
Wait.
10 seats in the whole.
you know,
building.
right? I said, Cameron. Hey, we beat the 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
We beat the
You
2-minute
did.
drill.
Let's go.
We beat the-
That's-
hey,
that's-
shout out you, Ryan. You know, sometimes you suck, but today you did better, and I'm proud of you. All right.
But you're not wearing a hat, so you're
But you're not wearing. That's why you're not on camera. Shout out my guy Mark. Before we go, quick shout out to the boys basketball team, 8th grade basketball team of Trinity, St. Cecilia, and St. Mary Magdalene team that I coached this year. League champions, 9-1, no big deal.
What?
And tournament champs as well.
What?
Haven't
What?
lost, literally have not lost an important game as a men's head coach, assistant coach
What?
for 8th grade basketball. So big W for us.
What?
Shout out to all those guys as well. Shout out to my kids. We appreciate it. Some of them are watchers, actually.
Shout out!
Wow.
Shout out to John Denver.
Yeah,
Shout out John Bender. He's dead.
You can't come in the pod.
You can't come on the pod.
You're not
Love to
allowed,
have you,
man.
though.
Sorry.
And then last shout out to Bishop Reed boys basketball district final runner up. So great year for them. They'll come back even better. Unfortunate way to end the season, but it is what it is. So shout out to them as well. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. You'll be seeing some clips. You'll be seeing some content more coming your way. Stay with us until next week. Ring the bell. Like, do all
This
those
shit
things.
rocks.
This shit does rock. Leave a comment what you like, what you don't like. We'll be peeping them. We'll let you know. And we can't wait to have Tom Brady to Jalen Ramsey and Bronny on the pod. We'll be waiting for them there. So, Ryan, you got anything to say to people?
That'll be it.
John, you got anything to say to people?
I could wait for Tom Brady to come on the pod.
You can wait for
I
Tom
can wait
Brady?
a lot longer.
Well, anything to say to people?
I've been in communication with Tom Brady's agent. He should be here next week.
He should be here next week. We'll see how that works out. He might be retired, and so will Giselle, so we'll see.
I know. You know what? I think he's sitting at home. He's thinking, how much guaranteed money can I get for 2 more years?
That's, I think, what he's saying, too.
I think
right?
that's what he's saying. He sees that Aaron
He
Rodgers
sees the
money.
numbers. Sees the numbers.
He's like,
Only thing I gotta say is make sure you tell somebody you love them. We appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out. Be sure to share us with anybody you see. All right, love you. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.